Hey, hi. I'm here in the Camels Hump State Forest, just off the Honey Hollow Road, and I have spent my morning bushwhacking on one of the shoulders of Camels Hump. In the Vermont Venture Outdoor Challenge this year, there's an item that says to go on a hike and to take all the things that you need with you in your pack. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my pack, what's on it, and what's in it. First of all, it's a hydration pack, and I carry a 100-ounce bladder, which is enough for most days. And if I'm going to be out for very many hours in hot weather, I'll bring a water filtration system, but mostly 100 ounces will do. I'm carrying a GPS, which is very handy for finding your way, but also today on the outside of my pack, usually this would be inside my pack, is my orienteering compass, and it's on the outside of the pack today because I was practicing navigation by compass. And whether you navigate by GPS or whether you navigate by compass, you should practice both ways, especially if you're relying on your GPS, because batteries will go dead, electronics will fail, you'll drop it on a rock, and your best bet is to have a compass and a backup compass. If you're leaving the trail, you should practice your navigation. So anyway, oh, and up here, speaking of things going bad, I always carry this whistle, and it's on a retractable lanyard. It's an Acme Thunderer, which is a little heavier than the whistle I might carry if I were doing a race, but it's an old and respectable whistle, and it feels good in my hand, and I just like it, so I carry the Acme Thunderer. And why a whistle? Well, if you need rescuing and people need to be able to find you, the whistle comes in really handy. So let's talk about what's in my pack. So I'm just set up in the back of my car here so I can put the things out and not lose them. Okay, in this front pocket of my pack, let me undo the buckle so I can get in better. I carry a pair of gloves with rubber palms, which are very handy if I'm on rough terrain and I need to grab things, or if things get kind of yicky. I have a headlamp, which even if you don't think you're going out at night, you might be out at night. So you should always have a light source with you. I have my old lady reading glasses because I'm getting old and blind. And I carry some food. If I was going out for a lot of hours, I would carry enough extra food for a while. But since I was only out for a morning, I have some trail mix and a bar. So let's see what's in the main compartment. I carry extra batteries for all my little electronic things, my GPS, my cameras. I carry a little tool bag. Usually my orienteering compass goes in there. But I've got a little spotting scope, which is super handy if you all of a sudden need to figure out where you are. Plus, if you want to see that bird that's singing up in the tree, just a little spotting scope. It's nice to have along. I've got a multi-tool, and it's got a file on it, and you'd be surprised when a file might come in handy. I think bicycling, because sometimes you might break a link and need to file it down. I carry actually a scientific calculator, because if you're trying to find your way with map and compass, you sometimes have to do a little math, and if you're trying to figure an elevation, you might have to do a little trig. And I wasn't paying that much attention in high school. Plus, when I'm tired, I don't process the numbers real well. So with my map tools, I carry a scientific calculator. Because trig. I carry a little notebook because you never know if you're going to need to write something down. I have 2 pencils. They're mechanical pencils, so they don't need to be sharpened. And each one has a rubber band on it and a little piece of dental floss. And these are map tools. This one is labeled 1 inch, and every inch I have a big knot tied, and every half inch I have secondary knots tied. And that comes handy when I'm working with a map, because I can measure things that aren't necessarily straight. And this map tool, it's just a piece of dental floss with a big knot in one end that goes through my map protractor, so I can draw lines over long distances and be able to accurately figure out where I am. And then I have a little bag of knives. Now, usually, if I'm just going to carry the one knife, I'll carry this one. And sometimes I'll carry it on the outside of the pack. I'm usually carrying this little knife, and the reason is because that's what keeps my tweezers handy. And sometimes you really need tweezers. There's little jobbers, just a cute little lockable blade. And if I'm worrying about weight, I wouldn't take this one. Or if I was just going on a short hike and I needed one little knife, I might take this one only. But I keep them all in that bag. Down here I got a little bag. It's just a little bag. Comes in handy if you're picking up stuff. Last time I used it, I think I was gathering mushrooms. And I got a little bag of knickknacks for geocaching, because you never know if you're going to be at a geocache, which is a sport I do. You need something to trade if you're going to take something. And this is the money bag right here. This is the first aid kit. Emergency supplies and first aid. These are very specific to me. This is my asthma inhaler and my EpiPen. A glow-in-the-dark stick, because once again, if you're missing and you need to be found, you need that. One of them silver space blankets. You don't maybe think about it, but if you have to spend a night in the woods, you'll want that. And you think, oh, I'm not going to need to spend a night in the woods, but it happens sometimes. And then there's the first aid supplies. I got a lighter, then it's been tested. I got gauze rolls. I got ibuprofen, acetaminophen, Benadryl, Imodium, and salt tablets for 2 people for 2 days dose. I've got antiseptic wipes, bandage tape, bandages, gauze, and all of that goes in the bag. Because you need that stuff. You don't, well, you hope you're not going to need that stuff. But if you do, you want to be sure to have it all. So that's what's in my pack, even if I'm going for a short hike. Because even if I'm not going a long distance, I'm often trying to stay in shape in case I'm carrying a heavier pack. If I'm going with someone else, sometimes we'll split up the tools and split the weight. But often I'm going with someone who will carry bike tools and I'll carry the first aid supplies. But I carry a little more stuff than I would need all the time, because quite frankly, I can't be bothered to assemble all my stuff for every hike that I'm going to go on. So I just have these couple of bags. I know it's in the bags. I carry them all the time. I just get used to the weight, and I know where everything is, and that is handy in emergency. So that's what's in my pack.